In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
I'm Nestor Licanto, and our guest this week is Siska Hutapea, who is the president of Cornerstone Valuation and the proud awardee of a new designation from the CCIM. Hi, Siska, how you doing?
Good day, Nestor. Thank you for having me.
Okay, tell us about this latest award that you got.
Well, it's a professional designation. CCIM is the Global Institute for Commercial Real Estate Investment Experts. And it's very big in the mainland. And I started this quest to get my 6th designation February this year. And I had to finish 4 one-week models, learning about spreadsheet, learning how to best calculate return on investment, so all of that nerdy real estate expert stuff that I really love. And so I went to Reno, I went to Los Angeles 2 times and passed those modules and exam. And then on October 13, we have the National Comprehensive Exam, and it's about 6 hours, a grueling 6 hours, and we had to do it on Chicago time, which is midnight in Guam, right? And but I scored a perfect 100, and I owe that to my kid, because my kids always, I always ask them to do, to do great in school, and I don't accept anything but 100. So now I can walk the talk and tell them, hey, your mom, widow raising 5 kids, have her own business, doing all of this community activity, and she still get 100. So you have no excuse.
That's right. That's right.
So that's my driving force in there.
So give us some examples of how you can apply these newly acquired training and your new designation to your work here in Guam.
Yes. So, I do, most people know me as a commercial real estate appraiser, but a lot of what I do lately has been to analyze investment. So for example, a landowner wants to build a commercial building or apartment, and I could, with this new designation and the knowledge that I learned and the spreadsheet that I that are designed for it, we can analyze with to check what is their return on the investment. With tax, without tax, with financing, or without financing. So we can compare scenarios on what is the highest and best use of the land and what the return on the investment is going to be. We can also do, if a tenant, commercial tenant wants to lease a space, and then they have multiple options, we could do the net present value of which option is the best for their, for their money. We could also, for example, like Bank of Hawaii sales recently, that is a sale and lease back. So the seller still wants to occupy the building, so they sell it and then they lease it back from the new buyer or new owner. And we could calculate, is that a good investment? Is that a good investment decision or not? And so we can analyze those kind of investment questions, and that's really exciting. Numbers speaks to me, and so I love doing it.
Yeah, and I imagine that there'd be some demand for this new service, this new assistance that prospective investors.
Yes. And, we have a client right now, they're debating whether to just lease the land as is to the potential tenant, or to also build the building, and how much should they charge for the rent to make to see if this, if this is still viable for their efforts, because as you know, construction cost has increased significantly, so we could do that. So yeah, I'm very excited. There's nobody else who get a perfect score besides this lady from Guam, so I put Guam on the map We have people from, all over the mainland, taking pictures with this lady who get the perfect score.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Congratulations and thank you for doing Guam proud. Since I got you, I also wanted to talk about the real estate issues, as we always do when we have you as a guest. Let's talk first about the impact of interest rates on the real estate market, particularly here in Guam.
Yes. So I just shared this on my on the Cornerstone Valuation Guam third quarter newsletter. We did a study. Cornerstone published the median price for single-family dwelling homes, and we used the Freddie Mac rates as of 2020. And in 2020, the median single-family dwelling median price of single-family dwelling was at 335,000, and the interest rate at the time was 3.11%. And as of the third quarter of this year, so as of September, the median price of home on the third quarter in Guam was 445,000, a substantial increase by 18% compared to last year, and obviously larger compared to 2020. But and the interest rate when we did it was at 6.94. I think this as of last week it was at 7.06. And yesterday, the Fed just raised another 75 basis point to the interest rate. So anyway, when we did the comparison of how much mortgage payment homeowner will pay for the median price of home, in 2020 in Guam, it's about $1,400. And as of the third quarter of 2022, it's at $2,800, so almost double, because the median price increased and then the interest rate also more than double. So that's the situation. We've been talking about how limited the supply is on the housing in Guam, how limited the supply is, and that's what drove the median price up. But now we have the wild card of the interest rate that is, again, beyond our control. A lot of things that happen in Guam, because our economy depends on military and tourism, are all beyond our control. Interest rate is beyond our control. Strong US dollar is beyond our control. So a lot of things that happens to our economy is beyond our control. And that's another subject that maybe we could touch bases a little bit later about the economic diversification. But going back to this fact, people who before can afford, say, 445,000 based on like a 3% interest rate, can now at the 7% interest rate can now only afford about 290,000. And that's a lot, that's a lot. So we already talk about the limited supply, the inventory side of the thing, but single family dwelling residential real estate is also depending on affordability, a lot on affordability. And so there's this synergy that needs to happen between the inventory and the affordability. And now we're being attacked from both sides, which is not fun. It's not the end of the world in a sense. There's still products that I know our local lender are providing. So the rate that I was mentioned was a 30-year fix. And when I look at the interest rate, between, on the FHLBS, the Federal Home Loan Bank of Seattle, I think, the 3 to 5 year interest rate is like higher than the 30-year fix. which kind of shows that the market probably think that this high interest rate is not going to last too long, hopefully. And but you know, we are going into a high interest rate. In 1981, though, if I could remind people, or even as early as 2003, when I first bought my townhouse, my first property in Guam. When I bought it, I was paying, I believe, 8.75% or 7.75%. But we've been spoiled in the past 2-3 years, paying interest rate of 2.5%. So we've been really spoiled. But there are products like ARM, you know, adjustable rate mortgage, that would probably at a lower interest rate. And then you could refinance later when the 30-year fix is, you know, is back to a somewhat more reasonable rate.
Yeah. So Siska, all of these factors that you just mentioned, the interest rates, the shortage of inventory, kind of all point to a substantial downturn in the local housing market?
Yes. So, you know, I was thinking about this, you know, what is the impact of national fiscal policy? Because this is national fiscal policy, right? To our little tiny market of Guam. And, you know, I was, and I don't know if I'm an eternal optimist.
You are.
I am. I have to admit that. And I was talking to, you know, my senior advisor, Morian, and he was like, well, you know, the reality of the matter is the interest rate is high, and, you know, one will have to adjust pricing. My take on it is, on this is, yes, interest rate is higher, but there are limited supply, and we do have this 1.4 billion to 2 billion US dollar that is pumped up into our economy every single year due to this military buildup. So there still would be demand, and the supply side is not increasing that rapidly. So you know, we'll see. I have not. I am a little bit less optimistic right now. But you know, we'll see how it's gonna pan out. But something has got to give. So there are, you know, there are things that us can do, that local government, the local developer can do on our side to increase the supply. And there are things that we can do. I know, like Guam Farm Services Agency, the USDA, have some, you know, loan that are better rates. And then there's that adjustable rate mortgage option. So yeah, I am guilty of being an eternal optimist.
Yeah.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
As a lot of couples and folks wait out the storm and hope for, you know, a increasing inventory and lowering of interest rates, there's also the issue of rental costs rising and the impact of the military. Can you talk about that? I know there was a meeting that was supposed to take place, but I think it has been postponed temporarily. But the impact of the military and the eventual, you know, relocation of all these Marines and their families to Guam, and the rental rate impact. Talk about that.
Sure. So, you know, like maybe 10 years ago, the military rental rates were substantially higher than the market. And that's I would say that's a really old story now. Why? Because they have not increased their rate. And then the median price of housing 10 years ago compared to now, it's, already substantially higher. And so, and cost of things are much higher. And GURA Section 8 subsidized market have like increased multiple times, and they're really, GURA rates right now with the military rates are not like that far off. But the problem is this subsidized rental really, for the lack of better word, screwed up the market for the working people, the regular working people that are not subsidized. So there needs to be a solution for affordable housing for rental. And as the median price kept increasing, interest rate kept increasing, what happened is people who used to be able or who were on the market to buy a house or to buy an apartment are now placed out of the market. And so they need to rent. And, typically when this happens, the rental market become more competitive, right? And there are more renters and there are less unit available. And so the low-income housing tax credit, and I've mentioned this before, they used to be able to pump up about 100 units when they first start, but with the rising cost, it's now like only about 60 units a year. And so those are like great, because one, people with the median household income below a certain percentage of the area median income can rent like a really nice apartment, brand new with facility, and raise their children in an environment that are like, safe and secure at a very, very reasonable rate. But there's not enough of that. So there are more things that needs to be provided. And I've shared this idea before, government can like provide, do a study maybe about making a prefab house that are very compact, that are very, that's, find a contractor or pay an architect to like do like a 5 model of houses, a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, and 4-bedroom that can be expandable. And people, a lot of local owns land from their family and whatnot. They could like build on their land using that plan and just copy the thing all over and make it like with decent finishing, and help local that already owns land able to build at a reasonable. Prefab, I think, is going to be the best answer to our affordable housing saga. And and the other problem, the biggest problem, so I said that the military rate was an old story. People saying, oh, the rental rate of military is high, blah blah. It was 10 years ago, but now it's kind of like at market because it hasn't increased. But the biggest problem with the military buildup that strain our economy are that the entire construction company industry are almost the entire capacity of it were absorbed by the military projects, and there are barely anyone left to do the outside projects. And then we also have the material cost. So if I was asked, what is the impact of the military buildup, it's more on the construction company's capabilities to help outside and create more supply.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E. GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information. In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.
Yeah, do you see this easing anytime soon? And so what can the local and the government and the military officials do in the interim to try and mitigate this? Is there
Yeah,
any?
that's $1 million question. I sent a message to Vera Topasnya, so that I could be included in the discussion. I said about the prefab solution. It's a tough one. It needs, and I'm glad they do have this, communication to ease this affordable housing, but it is a really tough question. Some of the ideas that I've shared are doable, but I don't know how we could like apportion a little bit of this construction company capacity to be doing work outside the fence. I don't know if there's a way for us to utilize this capacity and apportion it for work outside the fence. I don't know if there's a mechanism that can be done to make that happen, but that would be really helpful.
Yeah, and like I was saying, the military and local government officials will be meeting to at least begin discussions or continue discussions on how to address what is the very looming, very real problem about the lack of affordable housing on Guam. I wanted to end, Siska, on a more positive note. Your report also talked about notable sales. Tell us about those.
Oh yeah, so the two top notable sales in the third quarter of 2022 is the former Northwest Plaza, and I've seen some work being done on it based on the order of confirmation of sales. That 17,700 square meter land with about 60 to 70,000 square feet of building are purchased for $7 million. Autospot is going to have their dealership there, I believe. And then the next one is a purchase of 8,975 square meter, about a little over 2 acres of land in Tumon, right in between Pierre Resort and Tumon Holiday Manor. A local construction company acquired the land for $3.5 million. It's $384 a square meter. So and they propose to build residential unit in there, high-rise residential unit. So, but it will take a while before it becomes comes into fruition.
All right, so we got at least two big sales. The Autospot moving, I guess, to Muning, and as you said, the high-rise unit in Tumon. Okay, hey, so much. Thank you so much, Siska. Always a great pleasure to talk to you. And congratulations.
Always fun talking to you, Nestor.
Always, and congratulations once again on the CCIM award.
Thank you.
Another feather in your cap.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm Nestor Licanto. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week, everybody.
In Full Zoom is presented by Calvo Enterprises Inc. and IT&E.